are going to take the House back.
A lot of folks feel that democracy still matters in America.
The midterm now in the books. Valley Congressman Kevin McCarthy confident he will take over the gavel as House Speaker. But the so-called red wave fizzling out on election night. We're going to hear from McCarthy, and also longtime Valley Congressman Jim Costa secures his 10th term. He's going to join me exclusively in studio as he enters a new district. It could be his last dance on Capitol Hill.
I feel good about what's going to happen very soon. We're going to win this.
Well, it is a little bit tougher climb, but we still expect to be successful.
We ran a great campaign in the face of a $3 million, really attack set of ads.
We knew from the beginning that we needed to build the broadest coalition to be able to ensure a victory in this general election.
Too close to call. Two congressional races in our own backyard could swing the pendulum of power to either side of the aisle. And the state assembly race that has everyone talking. A look at the new numbers as several key races could be decided by only a few dozen votes. And our panel ready to weigh in. From the midterm mayhem to a look ahead at the 2024 presidential election. Welcome to Sunday. It's KC24 Sunday Morning Matters.
Now, from your local election headquarters, KC24, this is Sunday Morning Matters with your host, Alexon Balakian.
And good Sunday morning. Welcome into an all-new Sunday Morning Matters post-election special. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Alexon Balakian. You can join the conversation on Twitter and Facebook at Real Alexon. Use the hashtag Sunday Morning Matters. Now, along the way, Fresno County Clerk James Coos and also California State Senator Melissa Hurtado in Egypt with world leaders. But first, the tug of war of power in the House and Senate remains in limbo now 5 days after election night.
And it is clear that we are going to take the House back. You're out late, but when you wake up tomorrow, we will be in the majority and Nancy Pelosi will be in the minority. Yeah!
House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy closing in on the Speaker's gavel. McCarthy has launched that bid already. He will need a majority and no opposition from his own party. If he becomes Speaker, he will be the first Valley Congressman to hold this very influential position. McCarthy easily won his re-election in Congressional District 20 over his opponent, Marisa Wood. Now, as far as Congressman McCarthy becoming the next House Speaker, well, it seems likely as Republicans have now secured 209 seats to the Democrats' 190. That magic number for power, 218. Republicans so far have 16 pickups in this midterm compared to 4 for Democrats. Meantime, another longtime Valley Congressman successfully getting ahead of his re-election for a 10th term. He joins us now. Congressman Jim Costa, how are you, sir?
I'm well. It's great to be on Sunday Morning Matters because it matters.
There you go. You haven't said that in a while. You know what? We are getting some new numbers in, obviously, this week, throughout the week. And your opponent, Michael Maher, has not conceded just yet. But I'm wondering from you, are you ready to declare victory this week?
Oh, we declared victory Tuesday night, and I'm very pleased with the results. Obviously, as you noted, votes are still coming in, but from the demographics of the district, where they're coming in from Fresno County, where we're winning by 58% of the vote, and Tulare County, we think that we'll be in a good place when all the votes are counted. But let me just say, you know, and we have a number of other races you may want to talk about here in the Valley that still are undecided, and that will probably continue until next week sometime. But I think Tuesday was a good day in America because I think that, you know, a lot of folks feel that, you know, democracy still matters in America. And at the end of the day, the most important poll is the American voting. America's voting. And I think that the pundits, with all the predictions that were made, at the end of the day, the voters, as always, had the last say.
They had the last say, but I'm wondering, just from you, especially in your new district,
right?
The voter turnout was very low for a midterm. We're looking around 25, 26% just in Fresno County, even lower in some other counties. That has to be disappointing.
It is. We were looking at a model of what is usually a midterm in the Valley and in Fresno County, which is 45% plus or minus. And it looks like, as you noted, it's going to be 25% plus or minus. And that's not good. You know, I mean...
Political burnout?
I think it's a combination of factors. I think that clearly this pandemic has put people in some ways frustrated and disconnected, and all the disparities that have been made in recent years about our institutions of government and the cynicism and how people get their information, I think adds to that disenchantment.
So what is now the primary focus as you head into your 10th term for you?
It's helping the people of the Valley. That's always the first priority, and we're going to focus on the funding that we provided from the infrastructure package and the Inflation Reduction Act that provides literally billions of dollars to invest in America's future. This is the largest single investment, Alexander, since the Eisenhower administration with the interstate highway system. It's exciting. We have an opportunity to invest in water, in transportation, in broadband. I'm trying to get a medical school. As I've discussed with you before, Governor Newsom has put $200 million to build a new medical facility at UC Merced. We've signed an agreement between UC Merced and University of California, San Francisco on the residency program here in Fresno. And I'm very excited about the prospects because we have a shortage of doctors and nurses, and we need to address that.
You know, we have a Valley Congressman in Kevin McCarthy that now stretches into Fresno County this time around.
Big district.
It is, it is. And we've never had a Valley Congressman also become a House Speaker. Now, while that still
remains to be seen.
Remains to be seen, but maybe likely.
Could.
Maybe likely.
Could happen.
If that is the case, are you happy for Kevin McCarthy?
Well, I've known Kevin McCarthy for a long time, going back to the days of the state legislature. And if he is able to become Speaker, I hope he focuses his efforts to not only deal with his responsibilities on a national level, but back here at home. I think that the Valley obviously could really use his influence and his leadership. I know he's been supportive. He and I have worked together on water legislation that was signed into law. And I hope there's other areas where there are bipartisan opportunities for he and I to work together, if he is Speaker, to help the people of our Valley.
A couple other things. Time flies when we're having fun on TV. President Biden has said it is his intention to run for president in 2024. Does he have your full support for 2024 to run for re-election?
If he runs, if that is his ultimate decision, I'll support the president. I think he's done in the last 22 months, and the Congress, frankly, with a 4-vote majority and an even tie in the Senate, a remarkable, important part of legislative victories for the American people. Not only providing vaccines to try to make us, allow us to get out of this pandemic and get the economy going, the American Rescue Plan that helped with state, counties, and cities, the focus on the bipartisan infrastructure package, $1.2 trillion, the largest single investment, as I noted before. How many times did we hear President Trump that this was going to be infrastructure month, this was going to be infrastructure week? Never happened. And then the CHIPS Act to manufacture chips in America so that we're not dependent upon foreign sources. Helping veterans with this bipartisan legislation on the Burn Pits Act. And then the Inflation Reduction Act. I mean, we haven't seen this sort of legislative success to invest on America and American people. Really, you'd have to go back to the 1960s and the Great Society.
All right, just a few seconds left, and forgive me for this next sentence, okay?
Okay.
You are now 70 years old.
Really?
Do you forgive me?
Are you sure?
Still looking young, however, right? But many so-called political pundits are saying this is your last dance on Capitol Hill. Is it?
Well, the short answer is I don't know. You know, I take each term at a time. And I still have the passion and the energy and the desire to help people, and there are real opportunities here based upon that legislation that I told you that's now signed into law. We literally have billions of dollars at the federal level and at the state level to invest in our valley. And so I'm going to do everything I possibly can to make sure those investments happen. And it's not like I have a time clock. We all have a balance in our lives. I've been very fortunate. I've been blessed to help the people of this valley. And you know, as I always say, I put my faith and trust in the voters of this valley. They were kind enough to return me for another 2 years. And I got to work real hard to maintain that trust and see if we can get things done. You know, a year from now or so, I'll look at what I've accomplished and what needs to be done, and I'll make a decision.
All right. Congressman Jim Costa, appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you.
All right.
Happy holiday season.
You too.
Go Dogs.